It's Natalie again. So today we're going to talk about when do we know we're supposed to move forward and what can we do if we're stuck. So a lot of people want to move on in a situation when they're angry or frustrated or they feel abused. The reality is you created that situation to learn something. And until you learn it, if you move on, you'll continue to recreate it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to move on in a positive way so that you don't carry on your baggage. One example I'm going to use is, again, because I'm starting at the very beginning to teach you how to make sure this process is done right. I felt very oppressed, I was angry, I was frustrated, blah, 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 blah. One of the first things you'll start to do when you awaken is you'll start to question. Ask, why am I in this situation? Okay? You also start having other questions about, let's say, religion, because I was in a very oppressed religion. Some of the first questions that started coming up, and it's so funny because these thoughts never cross people's brains until they're ready. But one of them was, what if I'm committing adultery? Oh, yeah. Another one was they believed that you had to be a God-fearing man. And I started going, well, why would I fear my father? He's a loving father. Why would I need to fear him? So these questions started coming up. So that's the first indication that you're ready to start moving forward, is you start asking questions. Some things you have to get into alignment. One is your sex life. I know. This is going to get a little TMI. Yeah. You might want to shut it off if you're a little bit flustered about the whole sexual organ thing. So I didn't have sex for 2.5 years. I was getting migraines. I went even to see a doctor because of it. And she's like, well, have you ever masturbated? And I'm like, what's that? Yeah. I was 22 years old and didn't know how to masturbate. So, I got a book on it. Yeah, because Natalie's very medical. And she read how to masturbate in a book and about all the positive sides of masturbation. So, it's actually very healthy for you. And I know a lot of religions make it taboo. But the energy field has to have that for you to be able to progress forward. So, I learned how to masturbate. And once I did, woo! I suddenly didn't need a guy anymore. That was freaking awesome. What the hell was I waiting for in the first place? Yeah, much better than sex sometimes. So, I learned how to get my sexual stuff in line. Another thing you have to do is you have to ask for forgiveness for anyone you've hurt. I know, that one's a little freaky too. There was a lot of people in my past that I let down, and I had to go ask for each one of their forgivenesses. I had one guy I had to call and tell him that I loved both of his wives because there was a lot of hurt feelings, and I didn't cause them. But they tied up in a lot of me. So I had to go and ask every single person for their forgiveness. Think about it. When someone dies, can they really move on until they've been forgiven? Nope. Same with thing here. If you really, really want to move on with good terms, you need to ask everybody for forgiveness. The third thing is gratitude. Learning to be grateful for what you have can really help you shift speedy fast. So if you're feeling stagnant in your life and you feel like you're stuck, start creating a journal of what you actually want. Start being grateful for, if your husband doesn't show enough attention, start telling him, I'm my husband, he took me out, he loved me, he did this and this. It's going to shift the energy and you're going to be able to move forward a lot quicker. The fourth thing is you have to clean everything out. Yeah, I know. That's even scarier. So you have to go through all the crap that you've been holding. So life and money, everything is a constant flow. Okay? So if you hold and hoard onto things, it can't flow, and it becomes stagnant. And guess what? When you get stagnant, you're stagnant. So if you really want to shift your shift your life, go through all your crap and throw away anything you no longer use. That will shift you really, really, really fast, okay? So you've got to get your sexual stuff in order. You have to get your forgivenesses. You have to show gratitude and create the life you want based on gratitude, act as if you already are in it. And you have to clean out all your garbage and help shift it. Like if I ever become stagnant, I just clean my house. I kid you not. And when I do, and I'm finally happy, and I'm finally content, the energy shifts. Also, if you're looking for love, stop looking for love. Be happy with who you are. And be grateful for where you're at, and start looking at the good things around you. And again, you do these other things, and it's going to shift for you. Because you allow the flow. There's a great exercise with money. If you're clinging on to money, you take a $20 bill and you get a group of people and you just start passing that $20 bill from one person to the other. And whenever it comes to you, you don't hold on to it. You just pass it. So, and then you turn it to a $100 bill and as high as you can go. So you get in a constant flow of money. That's why they say if you want money, give money. If you want love, give love. If you want your house cleaned, clean other people's houses. I mean, whatever you give, you get back. Because it's all about the flow of energy. So when I learned to do these things, another thing is you can't fear anything. So if you're afraid of anything, it will stop your progress. So think about it this way: what you don't fear can't hurt you. So be valiant. Press forward. If something scares you, do it. Just to prove to yourself that you can. Because everything you want is actually on the other side of fear. And it's the fear that paralyzes, but if you're not afraid of failing, you won't fail. If you aren't afraid of not being loved, you'll always be loved. So, I mean, people think I have some balls on me, but the reality is I just got rid of my fear. I don't care what people think of me anymore. That's all. That's all it comes down to. So, challenge your fears. If you want what you want in life, you got to do that too. Okay? So you get these things in order, and your life's going to shift. And I'm all talk on here because you're like, well, it's easier to say than do, but I did it. And this is the result. So in that relationship, another thing. You give back everybody their crap. You stop cleaning it up for them. So I'm going to give you an example of what started happening. Okay? So I was going through all this other stuff, and we've talked about it in other videos, and I'm not going to go into it. But one of the first things that started happening when I started questioning was then I also stopped letting people push me around. I started standing up for myself. But I also gave them back all their stuff. Like, they were like throwing a fit, and I said, okay, I'm not going to clean anymore. You guys can take care of it. I'm done. So I made them clean up themselves. And I stopped taking care of their stuff. And it went to crap for a while. But guess what? They figured it out. They figured it out without me. And I remember sitting on the outside because I had called everybody. I'd done my forgivenesses. I learned how to masturbate. I was in flow of money. I was in such good flow with money that the universe sent me $25,000 into my bank account from my job. Obviously, I gave it back. But then it sent me $500 from my 401k. A company had hunted me down over 7 years where I was working when I was 16. So again, the universe wanted to bless me because I had learned to flow with money. So I had, overflowed with money. I had cleaned out all my crap. I had given it away. I had done all these different steps, and I had given them back their crap. I was no longer allowing them to push me around. I could have stayed in that situation and been happy for the rest of my life. I had finally figured out the secrets of life. And I remember sitting on the lawn, and I'm just like relaxing. I'm like, this is awesome. They can't hurt me. I'm not afraid of them. They won't tell me what to do. They're scared of me. It was great. And I'm sitting on the lawn, and all of a sudden I had this feeling, and all of a sudden I hear this voice, you have done what you came here to do. Pack your bags. You're done. That's it. And I didn't. I was a little scared at first. I'm like, well, where am I supposed to go? Like, this is all I ever known. And it said, pack your bags. You're done. And I started noticing the synchronicity in things. Synchronicity is when something starts linking up. So some people see numbers like 11111, or you keep on seeing that number again, or like you think of someone and they call. So what had happened with me is I had been laid off from one job, and then I walked into another job, and she's like, Natalie, I had a dream of you last night. I'm supposed to hire you. So then she hired me, and then that job linked me up to my current husband. The first time I talked to him on the phone, I instantly knew I was supposed to marry him. Yeah, I know, weird. But then I went to work to see him, and he wasn't there, and they tried to link me up with somebody else, but then I instantly I saw him the next day, and I instantly knew who he was, and he instantly recognized me, and so everything started linking together. And I had just met his best friend the day before at the gas station, and I was like, hey, he's hot. And so when I walked in and he was sitting in the office, I was like, holy crap, I just saw this guy yesterday. And then he ends up being my husband's best friend. That's synchronicity. The universe is trying to show you what path it wants you to take. And because I was from Colorado City, and that was a no-no to date anyone outside of the community, I kind of tried to break it off a few times, and it was like God would just, get in my face, and he's like, I would hear this voice, and I'd go, how can I bless you if everything's a temptation? So put aside your belief systems and allow the universe to touch you any way it will, because it wants to bless you. It wants to help you have your wildest, happiest dreams, but we are the ones that block the universe because we don't believe we deserve the best, or we don't believe we're good enough, or we don't believe masturbation's okay. I mean, there's so many silly things that we limit ourselves on based on being a good person. It's just a bunch of BS. In fact, the more spiritually aligned you become, the better person you become, because you have, it's like drinking. My husband's LDS, so they don't drink. I don't drink because of choice, and when I do drink, it's okay. I may drink a drink maybe once a year, but it's because I choose to. I'm an adult. I can make choices like that, and I'm a big girl. And I don't get drunk off my butt and do stupid things because I'm a big girl, okay? And even if I did do stupid things, again, I'm a big girl. I'm an adult now. I get to make my choices. And as you become spiritually aligned, you recognize and you become accountable. And you don't allow religions or anyone else tell you what to do. Well, my husband's like, well, it's bad. I can't drink. Is he really being an adult? He doesn't know. He doesn't really. He's like a child still when he acts like that. Because he hasn't gained the groundwork to make that choice for himself. And so that's what spirituality is about. Spirituality, it's about growing up and starting to make your choices. If you're going to be a god and create worlds, you can't be asking somebody else what kind of clouds to put in your sky. You're going to have to know for yourself. So that is some of the first steps you'll need are some key things you're going to need to be able to move forward. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.